Hey y'all, welcome back to another speed building video. Today I'm building a little cottage. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and we're building here on my favorite lot ever, I think, in The Sims 4, Cordelia's Secret Cottage, which is just at the very top of Henford-on-Bagley. It's like up on a mountain, there's a little waterfall next to it. It's really, really cute. It's definitely my favorite lot to build on. I've definitely built on this lot, probably too much, but we're back anyway. What I knew that I wanted to do with this cottage is I knew I wanted it to have a sort of interesting roof line, so I went ahead and added 3 roof pieces in the front where I would usually add 2, and just kind of saw where that took me. It takes me a while to figure out the shape of this build, but eventually I add some bump outs on the left, one on the right and one on the back, and it just kind of makes it look more interesting, because right now it's kind of boring, or at least not as interesting as it could be. So yeah, right now I'm deciding which roof swatch I want to go with, and I end up going with this one from Werewolves. It's like wooden and it's got the moss growing on it. I think it's so cute, one of my favorites. I pair it with the thatched roof trim from, what is that from? That's from Cottage Living. I went with the green swatch just because it matched the best, I think, and yeah, I think it turns out really cute like this. I don't know if it makes sense to pair a regular roof with a thatched roof trim, but I like to do it. It's something I do quite a bit in my cottage builds. I just think it looks cute. So now I'm just deciding which wallpapers I want to go with. I went with this horizontal siding from Get Together that's like darker brown. It's got like a few different brown tones. And I went with this plain vertical siding from Base Game as well. I think they go nicely together. I thought of also adding a third wallpaper, like a wooden wallpaper from Werewolves. That's kind of a tongue twister, wooden werewolves wallpaper. Anyway, but I decided it was too similar to the Get Together siding, so I decided not to do that. As I mentioned before, at least I think I mentioned it before, the shape of this house changes a little bit. I add a bump out on the left, which I've already done, a bump out in the back, which I believe I've already done, but I also add a bump out on the right that's kind of big, and then the shape of the house is sort of all coming together. Oh, here it is. Here's that last bump out, and I do kind of go back and forth a little bit, not sure if I want the bump out or not. I just delete it and bring it back and delete it and bring it back, but no, I did like it. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was the new pack, the Love Struck pack. What do you guys think about that? I am kind of torn on it. I honestly don't think I'm going to get it just because it's a lot of money and I don't really want to be spending that amount of money right now. And also it just doesn't seem that interesting to me. Like, I think if I was more interested in gameplay, I would love it because it does seem to have a lot of gameplay stuff in it, like the online dating, and I watched Little Simsy do a whole playthrough of the pack and it seems really fun, but I'm just not a gameplay person. I'm more of a build and buy person. I like to build little houses, as you can probably tell, hence the speed building channel. But there was a couple things that I liked in the build and buy catalog from the new pack that I'm kind of sad I won't be getting. Like, there was this floral wallpaper that I thought was really nice. It had like really big floral print, and I was like, that could be kind of nice, but I'm not gonna get that. One thing that I thought was a little bit much was like there was animal print flooring and walls, which is quite, I don't know, it's quite a statement. But there was some really nice archways, like some really nice simple archways that I think I might like. Maybe one day when it goes on sale I'll get the pack, who knows. And there were also plushies. There was like a little penguin plushie and an axolotl plushie and a dog plushie, and I love a good plushie, so maybe one day I'll get it. Let me know if you guys get it. Let me know if you like it. I'd be very interested to know. Now here I am working on the outside of the cottage. I went ahead and made a little fenced-in outdoor space, a little yard, I guess you would call it. And I used these fences from Debug from the Werewolves pack. And these fences are available from different packs as well. There's a couple different Debug fences you can go for, but these ones are my favorite. The ones from Werewolves are my favorite because they're a little bit more textured and they're a little bit more like worn down. So they're my favorite to use. But yeah, I just used that to kind of fence in a little outdoor space where there's some gardening plots, so you can go ahead and garden with those like big overgrown fruits or overgrown pumpkins and watermelons. And what else can you grow? I think you can grow cabbages as well. Yeah. I also went ahead and added some bee boxes. Those are really fun. And a insect box. I don't know if you guys have ever played with those IRL, but or not IRL, played with those in-game. They're kind of gross. There's like actual bugs that crawl around the outside of those. So to me it's a little gross, but I figured I would add it just in case, just for a little bit of extra gameplay here. And also I added some chickens, or not some chickens, I added a chicken coop. And since the fences are debug, the chickens will be able to roam free. They'll just be all over the lot, and if you don't lock the door, I think they can even come into the house. So yeah, if you don't want chickens in your house, you're gonna have to put a real fence down or lock your doors for chickens. I think there's a locked door for animals. I'm not really sure. There should be some setting where it should be fine. But now I'm going around and I'm adding some wildflowers all throughout the lot. I thought it would be really nice to just have it be a little bit overgrown and just have a bunch of different flowers. So most of them are from Cottage Living, but some of them are from base game as well, like those lavender flower patches are from base game, I believe. And yeah, I had a really fun time with the landscaping this time around. Usually when I landscape a lot, I hate it and I have to redo it a couple of more times before I actually like it. But this time I actually did like the landscaping, so hopefully you guys do too. And then I went ahead and added some laundry out there. I'm realizing now that I did not add I did not add a hamper to any of the rooms, but there is room for a hamper. So if you want to do laundry, you can go ahead and just add a hamper in the bedrooms. And if you don't want to do laundry, I know it can be super annoying sometimes, and you can just go ahead and delete those laundry things out in the yard. So here we are on the interior now. We're working on the kitchen space first, which is just in this little bump out. It's kind of squished into this little tiny area, but I really like the way that this kitchen turned out. I feel like a lot of my kitchens look very much the same, and this one looks different, which just makes it that much better in my opinion. Anyway, I went with this counters and cabinets from oh my god, I forgot the name of it, Cottage Living. And I really like this color. I've never used it before, but I really like the sink especially because the inside of the sink, I felt like it's brown, but it has like a bit of a pink tone to it. So I kind of used that to inform the color scheme for the rest of this build. So I kind of go with a pink and green look for the rest of this build. And then here I am putting a towel sort of in front of the countertop with the tool mod. And at first I went ahead and did it right in front of the sink, but I feel like it didn't look that good right in front of the sink, so I moved it over to the right. And I also used the appliances from Cottage Living as well, and now I'm just going to go ahead and decorate the counters, clutter up the counters. Also, I thought of doing upper cabinets all the way across the front of the kitchen, but I decided that it looked better to have this really big window moment, and I decided to go with no upper cabinets besides like right in the corner tucked away by the oven. And so that just made this kitchen that much more unique, and I kind of like it. So hopefully you guys like it too. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is my wedding. I've mentioned it a couple times on this channel, but I was engaged and I just got married like, I don't know, it was a few weeks ago now. It was on the 22nd of June. That's our anniversary. So that was super fun. I want to tell you guys a little bit about it. It was in a refurbished church in Little Italy, which was really nice because I'm Italian and because it looked so cute. We chose the venue because it was so adorable. It's got these high ceilings and they do, what do you call them, like fairy lights across the ceiling to make it really pretty. And it's just got all the gorgeous like beauty of an old church. And so they say one thing has to go bad at your wedding, like one thing has to be the hiccup. And what happened with us, I think our main major hiccup was that there there was construction around the venue, and we had no way of knowing. It hadn't been planned ahead of time. Like, we had booked the venue like over a year in advance, so we had no way of knowing that there was going to be construction in the neighborhood at that time, but there was, and there was a lot of it. Like, the sidewalks were all torn up, and the parking in front of the venue was all torn up, so it looked really bad on the outside. There was like orange construction pine cones? Are they called pine cones? No, not pine cones, just construction cones, you know what I'm talking about? And there was like orange construction signs everywhere, and the sidewalks were all torn up. It was so bad. When I saw it, I cried a little bit. I was like, how are our guests gonna find any parking? And I was like so upset. And that was the only time that I cried during our wedding planning, actually, which is good for me, because usually I cry a lot, which there's nothing wrong with crying a lot, but I just did a good job of managing my stress, I think, so that was good. Anyway, that was the main hiccup, but everything else went fine. Like, inside the venue, it was gorgeous. Like, just outside the venue, not so much, but inside the venue, it was gorgeous. And I walked down the aisle with my dad, which was really sweet, and then we got up and we planned our own vows. We each wrote our own vows. That was really nice. And then we exchanged rings and stuff like that, and then we had our kiss, and then we went down the aisle and all that stuff. This is probably obvious. This probably goes without saying. But then we went ahead and we took some photos in the park with just me, my husband. That's so weird to say. I'm used to calling him my fiance, but me and my husband and the photographer went to the park and we took some gorgeous photos, and it was just amazing, guys. It was the best day ever. And even though the construction was terrible and it looked really ugly on the outside, I'm going to count it as a win. Overall, it was a very good time. So I should probably talk a little bit about the build now, maybe. We're here in the bathroom, and I went ahead and used this pink swatch of the tile, but I go ahead and I change it to white because I just wasn't liking the way that it looked. So I went ahead and I turned all the, the little extra things, like the curtains, the rug, the what do you call those, bathrobes, those are all pink, and then I changed the walls to be white, and I just preferred the way that it looked. You may have also noticed that in the living room, I just went ahead and switched out the original armchair that I had, which was from Cats and Dogs, to an armchair from Cottage Living that's green, just because I wanted to continue that green color scheme throughout here. I actually do end up going back and changing the couch as well to be pink, because, you know, green and pink are the colors that I'm doing for this little cabin. But yeah. Now we are in the main room, the primary bedroom. I went ahead and grabbed this gorgeous bed from high school years that's green, and it has like a deeper green that kind of matches the colors from the Cottage Living pack, and it also has a bit of lighter green on the pillows, which matches this curtain from Eco Lifestyle that I'm using in a bit of a lighter green color. I also went ahead and I grabbed this vanity slash dresser slash, what do you call them, drawers, from Cottage Living. Again, there's a lot of Cottage Living in this pack. In case you haven't noticed, I think that's my favorite pack of, after all. My favorite pack of all, I think, is the Cottage Living pack. I think I don't usually play the game like the way it's supposed to be played. I usually just build. But the way that I like to play the game, if I am going to play the game, is I like to make a little cottage and have like a bunch of garden plots in the front and some chickens and a cow, and just like run the farm and go to the, I don't remember what they're called, but they have little events in town like every week where you can go sell your crops and you can go like enter contests with your crops and stuff. And that's what I like to do. I like to just live in Hemford-on-Bagley and play the whole Cottage Living experience. Anyway, here we are in this next bedroom. It is a pink bedroom, so I decided to do one bedroom green, one bedroom pink, if that makes sense. So here we are, and I went ahead and I grabbed this gorgeous bed from Cats and Dogs in this kind of like pinky brown color. And then I went ahead and I grabbed the dressers from Growing Together. Those came also in like a kind of nice pink color. So yeah, we're coming to the end of this build. If you want to download it, go ahead and search the hashtag AliciaSims on the gallery and you should be able to find it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Bye!